Hello and welcome to the fourth session of our teacher training for hosting Zoom for Congregation Colby religious school teachers. I was only expecting to have 3 sessions, but I realized there were a couple of things I still needed to cover. One of those being breakout rooms. And so in this short session, we're going to go over just those. I once again have recruited my kids, and so they're going to join us. And I'm going to pull them into a room, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you can do with breakout rooms. So let's go ahead and get started. Wrong screen. There's the one I want. So we mentioned this in session 3, and so now you can actually see it, so I'll show it. We have this where it tells you how many people are in the waiting room. So I'll say see waiting room. It brings my participant window up over here as we discussed in the last session. And I'm going to go ahead and omit all. Okay. As normal, they'll come in muted. And so I'll stay in the spotlight as long as I'm talking. And what we really didn't go over last time, like I said, was breakout rooms. And so let's look at these real quickly. So once the breakout room dialog comes up, you can pick how many rooms you want. In this case, I've chosen 2, and you can see it puts 1 participant per room. Or if I move this down to 1 breakout room, it's going to do 2 participants. Typically, you're going to have more than 1 breakout room, but for our purposes, I want to show the creation of just a single one. And then I'll come back and show 2 and what that looks like. So create breakout rooms. It creates a breakout room called breakout room number 1. You can rename that. We're going to call this breakout demonstration or demo. You can see it changed that name. And then I can come over here and assign who I want. I can assign Ben. I can assign Rachel. I can add another room. I'm going to rename this room to room 2. Right now I don't have anybody to assign, but say for instance I can come up here. I'm going to come over here and rename Rachel. This is actually Rachel. It's confusing because we use 1 account here in the house. So I can then move Rachel to room 2. You can see she's here. You can exchange them. So I can then say, hey, I want to switch her with Ben and see how it exchanged the rooms. And then once we're all there and ready, let me look at the options here. So you can move all participants into breakout rooms automatically. We talked about that. You can allow the participants to return to the main session at any time. I can have you can put these in there, so I could say, kids, we're going to put you in a breakout room. You can only stay for 5 minutes. I suggest you leave this here because then that way it notifies them when the time's getting close. They know they have a certain period before the room's going to close. And then you can tell them how long you want that countdown to go. Do you want it to go for 1 minute before, for 30 seconds before, whatever that might be. So those are your options. You can start over and recreate all the rooms from fresh if you'd like. If you make a mistake and you just say, oh, gosh, I want to start all the way over. And then finally, you can open all the rooms. And then once they're open, you can see now they're in the individual rooms. So I'm still in the main window. So if you see over here, it's just me by myself. But if I join breakout room, it's taking me over there. And you can see now I'm in with Rachel. I can leave this room and all the same controls we normally had. And by the way, you can create breakout rooms in breakout rooms. If you had a very large group and then want to create small groups out of that breakout room, you can do that as well. Although I don't think at Congregation Colby will have much call for that. So I can leave this room. So I can leave the breakout room. When I do that, it returns me to the main session. You can see now I'm back in the main session. I can click breakout rooms again. And now I'll go join Ben in his room. And you can see Ben is here in his room. And I could be here. We could do whatever. And so you can also have different groups of students and jump back and forth between the groups as they're working. And then I'm going to leave this room again. I'll leave this breakout breakout room. And then finally, if you want to, before it's all done, if you want to end the sessions early, you can close all rooms. It'll start the breakout room session here. It gives each user the option to, like you just saw Ben just do, you can go ahead and leave the room immediately, or like Rachel's doing, she's hanging out and won't be sent back to the room until it closes automatically. So that is pretty much the features of breakout rooms. Everything else is exactly the same. In general, if you're going to use breakout rooms, I suggest that you set them up ahead of time. Go ahead and create your rooms ahead of time, and then make the assignments once, move the people into the rooms once they're there. The one exception being if it's something that's quick and easy on the fly. And in those cases, just leave the breakout rooms the default name. Save yourselves time when you're creating those. As always, if you have questions, comments, leave them in the comments section here on YouTube. And for the Congregation Colomia Teachers, we can discuss it in our Q&A on Sunday. And you can see now the timer's finished and Rachel's come back to the main thing. None of the breakout rooms are started, so we're to the point that we can restart them if we want to. I'm going to close that window and close out this session. In the meeting, thank you guys. Thanks for your help. And that is all we've got to cover for tonight. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. We'll have one more short session coming related to a few things that I missed covering in the other sessions that I want to be sure to point out. Most of them will be very specific to Congregation Colomia. Thanks so much.